What is up, everybody? This is Will Tiller and Patrick Morrison with 10-4 Broadcasting. We're coming into this action just a little bit late here on lap 55, but tonight we're bringing you live action out of the big show, and this is a real life running of the Indy 500 here, folks. A full 100% laps here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And Patrick, I know we're coming into this race late, but it looks like things have already gotten off to an action-packed start here. What is replaying this is Will Tiller and Patrick Morrison. Yeah, for sure, Patrick. And it looks like Michael Wiley is leading the proceedings here so far. Here, we're creeping up to about halfway to go here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Again, this is 100% here, Indy 500. Looks like Harold's in the second place. Steven Smith is in third. Ryan Avila is in fourth. Scott Peraza is in fifth. And Dave Carter is going to be in that sixth position, Patrick. And was going to ask you as an iRacer yourself. I know we do a few modifieds here at 10-4 Broadcasting. We do stock cards as well. Any knowledge about these Indy cars and how difficult they are here to drive? Yeah, Patrick, looks like things have fanned out just a little bit here at Indy. Watching the leaders take those corners here, Patrick. And Patrick, this is only your second time producing, so we are getting you some lap time, if you will, some track time, getting those wheels under you to get everything rocking and rolling for you here at 10-4 Broadcasting. And taking a look at the rest of that grid past the sixth place position, looks like we do have a few drivers that may have retired early tonight, Patrick. And I did see something before we came on here about the power going out in some places. I know some places are getting hit with some storms here. But as you see, as you were just mentioning, with these Indy cars, it's exciting to watch them on TV, if you will, but driving them in iRacing, as we see somebody crash going down pit road there, it has to be extremely difficult to, maintain that speed through the corners and make those passes going 200 miles an hour plus. I mean, we've seen the modifieds, how difficult it is to make passes in that. Stock cars, you can kind of bounce off of one another. These Indy cars, you really have to be precise and pinpoint with the moves you make on the track. Yeah, definitely. And we've seen these things in real life. They fall apart easy. They're basically the paper maches of race cars. But we looks like we do have a new leader on the track. But it looks like things have calmed down here just a bit. We may have hit a stage here as the pace car is out on the track. Will give us a second to get caught up with the race action going on here. I'm going to assume that's a stage break there, Patrick. I didn't see anything happen on the track, or maybe it was because of that car that wrecked down pit road. And Patrick, as we're taking a look at Wiley on the screen there, I'm going to go ahead and grab race control. See if we can't bring race control to come into the booth with us for just a minute to give us an update or maybe a recap of what's happened so far about halfway through this 100% running of the Indy 500, and I'll be right back. And we are joined by Ray Garcia. And Ray, this is Will and Patrick up in the booth. I know we were late to the proceedings here by just a few laps, if you will. We got the call pretty late, but we've got the broadcast up and live for you guys, and we're coming on almost about halfway through this Indy 500 here. If you wanted to give the folks at home just kind of a recap of what's happened so far. I know we've seen a few cars that have retired early in tonight's proceedings, and what's the parameters and the format of tonight's race?
Yeah, welcome 10-4 broadcast. We appreciate you jumping in here at the last second. Well, we started out with 30 cars, and we all qualified well. We're going to run the full 500 miles. That's 200 laps. We're on lap 62. In the first 100 laps, we're running 20 lap comp cautions, just so these guys could get used to the cars. We anticipated some accidents early, so we wanted to let these guys run 20 laps to get used to the cars, but some of the guys just couldn't handle the cars. They kept crashing. So they've retired. I think we're down to 17 cars, but these guys are handling it pretty good now. So we should have a pretty good race with the remaining 17. We're still going to go all the way to 200, but we'll go. We just stopped at lap 60. We're going to stop at 80 and 100. But in the second 100 laps, we're only going to stop on 40 and 80 with green flag stops. So the second half will pick up.
And as far as how the race has played out so far, I know you're in the mix as well. Who's been kind of the favorite so far here tonight? And has there been any big wrecks or crashes so far? I know we came onto the broadcast about halfway through here.
Yeah, one of the things about Indianapolis is the corners. Aero is very important, and if you wad it up, if you get in there 2-3 deep, you'll take the air off the spoilers, and everybody just pushes to the wall in the short chutes. So we had a few multiple car wrecks going into 1 or into 3, and when they did that, some of the guys got upset and quit. But this particular group that were left, they're doing it right, so we should still have a pretty good race. These guys seem to get it. I was running in P4, and I came up on a lapped car, and I knew better, but I got too close, took the air off my spoiler, and I tapped the wall and ended up back here. So I have to work my way back to the front. But that was on me. I just got too close, took the air off my wing, and just brushed the wall.
Gosh, and when we came on, we saw Michael Wiley leading the race so far. Has he been the kind of the favorite here tonight so far?
Yeah, Michael's been up front all day so far. He seems to have a good grip on the car. We practiced with it, so he likes the chassis. Some of the boys, Heath and Landon are in here, and Landon was struggling early, but I think he's got it. So we're back to green here, and we'll just see what we can do to catch up. But keep an eye on Michael Willie and Gregory Ricks. Gregory Ricks is in the 87.
Gotcha.
Right now it's one car at a time now.
There you go. Yeah, this is the most difficult, I'd say, of the race cars out there to drive this in Formula One. So we'll go ahead and let you get back to it, Ray. We appreciate it, and we'll keep calling this race for you.
Right on. Thank you so much for jumping in, guys.
Of course. That was Ray Garcia, the admin here at the Big Show, Patrick. And man, as we're watching, there's some big battles ensuing on the track already. And as he just mentioned, folks, we're going to have a 20-lap cautions. We're going to stop on lap 80 here and then also lap 100. Then he mentioned on that second half of the race there we'll stop at lap 140, and I believe one lap 180 I believe was the last comp caution if I'm not mistaken there. As you see in a big pass here, and Patrick, he mentioned as he was oh no! We have contact there. See what exactly happened there. We did see wheels touch. That might bring out a caution on the track. We'll have to revert that back and see. That was a hard impact. That was wheel-to-wheel impact there. Checking out that 10-4 broadcast and replay for the folks at home to see. Bang! Oh! Just banged on that tire there. Yeah. Yeah, as you see, a few names are switching up there at the top of that leaderboard. As you see, Ray mentioned this is basically, I play first-person shooters on console, and this is like a free-for-all event here. It's basically your race against everybody else. There's not really many teams here in tonight's event, and as you just mentioned, it's difficult to make it around some of these cars, and he mentioned as well of keeping that wind pattern as you're passing these race cars, and we just saw it there. We saw one car into the wall. We saw one car get wheel touched, lose both tires there, making impact, and he mentioned as we brought Ray into the booth here about how difficult these race cars are. Lost about half the field halfway through this race just because of the difficultness of driving these cars. We're watching it here, a few battles ensuing here, folks, and taking a look there. Gregory Ricks was one of those names that he said to keep an eye out for. He's currently in 5th place. And I could never get the hang of these cars here, Patrick, and I've tried to play the F1 racing games. I've tried to do like the IndyCar racing games, even when Gran Turismo put these in the games. I could never get the hang of these race cars. The horsepower and the torque on these cars make it so difficult to drive. You barely get in the gas, and that back end is going to fly up from behind you. And then even trying to make passes, even on a track like this, where you have more wide open spaces, you don't have to worry about a bunch of corners. It's very difficult to hold that draft line. You do get a draft line in these cars, even though it's not a stock car. We'll watch it here. You're thinking you can make a pass here coming up on the car in front of you, but it's, you got to hold that speed and hold that line without touching tires or going up into the wall there, and it just makes it extremely difficult. Yeah, definitely, and things are a lot more wide open right now as we're taking a look at the leader right now. That's Michael Wiley up there, and no, and Ray mentioned that he has been running up front for the majority of this race. We came on here around laps 60, I believe, right around that range, and ever since we came on the broadcast there, he's been leading the way here so far. But he's got some competition behind him. There's a few names there. Ryan Avila has worked his way up there in 2nd position. Looks like Dave Carter's in 3rd. Gregory Ricks was that name that Ray mentioned to us. He's up in the 4th position, so top 5. But Patrick, in a race like this, as we're watching him go down the backstretch, we're seeing a side-by-side battle go down into 3 and 4. Seeing right here, oh man, you just gotta make that move and if you're getting passed, you almost have to make sure you commit to a line because you can't try to throw a block like you can in a stock car or a modified. You have to know that somebody's coming and essentially get out of the way. As we're taking a look at this action here, I believe it won't be our official first 100% race for us, but definitely one of the longest races we've called, Patrick, here at 10-4 Broadcasting, as we see a car bang up against that wall. But it looks like, Patrick, they might have, I am unfamiliar with the technicalities of iRacing, but it looks like they might have a fast repair on the track that they can use. They don't necessarily have to go down pit road to use that fast repair. We've seen that where a car lost both their front tires there, was able to, I guess, use that fast repair and get racing again. We just saw it there as well. Is that something that's in iRacing that you can use, almost like an on-track fast repair? Yeah, I'm really intrigued on those passes that are taking place there, because you see, it's almost like you're hunting somebody on the corner, and once you get to those front and back straightaways, you have to commit to those moves. We're watching it here, this battle ensuing, trying to see who exactly this is. There we go. Oh, hey, there we go. As you see right here, you can see that car in front of you there on the corner, and you know that you have the speed, but you almost have to, strategize to make those passes on the front and back stretch, because there's no way that you can actually pass here on the corners. Oh, as you see, a lot of speed there brushing up against that wall, and these cars are super fragile. Oh no! Almost went off-road there in the Indy car. Right. You see right here, you got to make that pass. The car in front of him is going to get out of the way there, but he's going to see him file back in and try to make a move to the inside there, heading down into the corner. He's going to find that speed on the corner there, going to zoom right past him. And Patrick, one thing I've noticed about Indy cars, and if I'm watching the Indy 500 and also some of the Grand Prix that are on TV now, that's called the IZOD series now, if you will. When you make a pass there, you got so much speed when you pass somebody. But what happens is that if you don't have anybody in front of you to keep riding that momentum, you lose so much speed when you make a pass. As you're seeing it here, you You saw that car make a huge run to make a pass, but once that pass was made, that momentum was completely killed. Right here, you'll see. Oh, three wide going down into one here, folks. Big action. Oh, man. You saw it just right there as well. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. We still have Michael Wiley leading the way here, and looks like Gregory Ricks has worked his way up into second there, Patrick, and does look like there's a few cars that are in the mix up there. Looks like a few lapped cars have gotten in the way, and usually here at the big show, it's Landon Gentry that usually wins everything in this series, at least in the races that I've called. I'm not sure who. I think it was Greg Blazin that may have won the last event here in the big show, Patrick. I believe it was you and Tim on the call, but looks like we have hit that stage break here, ladies and gentlemen. And man, we've only been on the broadcast here for about 25, 30 minutes, and Michael Wiley has led the way here, but we did see some three wide action there on the corner. Yes, sir. And as we're under this break here with the last 20 laps to go before we hit the halfway mark here at the Indy 500, let's see if we can't bring in our race leader for a quick mid-race interview. Hey, Michael, this is Patrick and Will up here in the 10-4 broadcasting booth. You got a copy?
Yep.
Hey man, we're coming on to this race. We came on about lap 50 or 60, and we missed that first, I guess, quarter of the race there. But as we've come on, it just seems like you're the guy to beat here tonight. You've led most of the race as we've been on the broadcast here, and that last little 20 lap run, you had quite the gap on second place. Kind of take us through your point of view of tonight's race so far, and what you think has made you so strong racing these Indy cars here tonight.
Y'all missed all the action the first few laps. There was wrecks everywhere, but I actually got taken out, went back to 16th, and I've made my way back up here.
Oh
Everybody
man.
else is complaining of their car being tight and loose, but I tell you, my car is handling perfect, and I love it, and I plan on keeping it up here. It's a rocket.
Yeah, we've noticed that. We saw you have quite the gap on second place, and Ray said you guys started off with about 30 race cars here tonight, down to about 17. These cars are extremely difficult to race. But it just seems like you've gotten it down here, Pat. Do you come in with this race with a little bit of experience racing these Indy cars, or is this your first go at it, or where does this experience come from?
I've played around with these Indy cars, but my expertise is the NASCAR stock cars, but I'll try anything. And I tell you though, once you get out here in this clean air, these cars, they drive like go-karts. Honestly, they're on rails and they go. I'm looking forward to this next 118 laps.
Yes, sir. And you're trying to make that 48 proud. I know Jimmy Johnson's really wowing some people at Indy this week. He did really good at practice. I missed the qualifying session today, so I wasn't sure where he qualified for the Indy 500, but I'm sure he'll race good on the Indy 500 coming up here, and you're making that 48 proud. And I'll throw it over to my co-host Patrick here. I believe he has a question for you here before we let you get back to green flag racing.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. Luckily, I haven't been put in that position yet, other than running into a stopped car. But other than that, everything's been pretty clean, and on my part anyway. But I'm telling you, she's fast. I believe he just quit, if I'm not mistaken. Can you guys confirm that?
Yep, he is officially down to looks like 38th place. So yeah, he may have retired in tonight's event.
He knows he ain't got a shot.
Oh gosh.
I'm gonna try. I tell you, if anybody passes me, you'll see me. I'm able to pass them right back on the outside. But if that's where I have to take you, that's where she'll be. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Come back and yeah, Patrick, he's definitely the guy to beat here tonight. And I love hearing it when we interview these drivers and we get them up here in the booth. The confidence that they have in their cars. A few of the drivers that we've called here in the High Octane Sim Series, the International Racing League, and I'm sure some of the drivers in your Powerhouse Racing League as well. You get them up in the booth and they just ooze confidence. They're confident in their race car. They're confident in their abilities. We spoke to Michael Wiley just a second ago there, and he said these things are really fast. It's like driving a go-kart. So when a driver says that, they're having fun and they're confident. Yes, sir. Here we go. Heading down the corner number 1 here, folks. We got 20 laps to go before halfway. We see a car go way down on the inside there. See if they can save that race car as they're way down on the inside. But big battle is ensuing down into 1 here, folks. We're 3 wide. Oh, man. That was a big block there. Looks like the car had to check up. Slicing and dicing here on the backstretch. Let's see here. It might be. Landon Gentry is in 5th place. I believe that is him there. He climbed back into the mix here. You see him losing a lot of momentum there. May have suffered a little bit of damage there when they were bunched up there, slicing and dicing each other. But again, Patrick, I'll go back to what I was saying there, watching the IZOD series now, if you will, if you call it that. And a few of the Indy 500s that I remember watching. Ooh, man, as you see another car into the wall there. We'll get confirmation of who that is. Dang. You do not want to... The wall is not somebody you want to kiss, that's for sure, Patrick. Right. Yeah, and we see a pass, and so, ooh, man, tried to go up there and throw a block. It looks like Ray has re-entered the racetrack there. And they're going to try to split him there as Ray's riding the middle line there on the backstretch. Really going to kill the rest of the momentum of these cars behind him. Like Michael Wiley's up there. He's got some competition right on his back bumper there, Patrick. You see him, he's got a battle on his hands there, Patrick. And like I was saying, watching the Indy 500s in the past, what makes the Indy cars, in my opinion, so exciting is, you can come flying up on somebody, have a huge run like what you would see in like a modified or a stock car or other types of race cars. But, that run basically ends once you get by somebody. Because what I've seen so many times in the finishes of the Indy 500 is that one guy makes a pass on turn 4, but their speed starts to diminish, significantly after they make that pass. And that second place car, or whoever they passed, is going to come flying up right next to them. And I've seen that so many times to end these Indy 500s that guys get huge runs and then their momentum just slightly kills as they go flying by. It's interesting to see in these Indy cars. Yeah. Yeah, right. See it here. Things have gotten a little bit more fanned out here, Patrick. See a few battles ensuing here. Just taking a look at that leaderboard there. Looks like the fastest car on the track right now from the previous lap times looks like it might be the... Let's see, Patrick, taking a look at that. Looks like we have a new leader on the track, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, the 48 seems to be losing some positions right now, Patrick, and we do have a new race leader on the track right now, and they are running the fastest time on the track. There we go. This is about, oh gosh, this is a battle for the lead right now, folks. Looks like we got 3 cars up there battling for the lead. That is Dave Carter up there, Ryan Avila, and Matthew Butler up there. And Matthew just ran the fastest lap time right there of a 41 or 40.1. Oh, watch out! And they touched, bang, right into the wall. Man. And we saw it happen. Oh my gosh. And it looks like they've just given up. Gosh. You just hit the, I play Forza Horizon every now and then. You hit the rewind button and you get to redo a corner or redo a part of the race. So it looks like you went ahead and hit that rewind button. He's back racing again. But I believe this is Landon Gentry we're taking a look at here, Patrick, in that purple machine. Yeah, and Landon's usually the name to look out for if we're racing stock cars, but trying to make himself known here in the IndyCar series as well. You see him up there. He's also one of the admins here in the big show. And Landon, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he is only about 14 years old, 15 years old. So, I am the one thing that I'm most surprised about here, Patrick, in my short time of broadcasting iRacing here is, the young guns, if you will. A lot of these young kids. I wish I was this young when I was able to get on the simulator and do these things. I would have played this instead of playing Halo 2 or Call of Duty back in the day, because a few of these big name NASCAR drivers you see nowadays have actually come from simulator racing. William Byron's one of those names. Alex Bowman came from iRacing as well. You see a few guys that are trying to work their way up, like Raja Karuth is an iRacer as well in the Xfinity series. So, and it's becoming more and more of a tool for NASCAR drivers as well. I follow Haley Deegan on Facebook and the social media pages, and they're using the simulator as a practice tool now. So, a lot of these younger kids, we also have Caden Tufts, who's in our modified leagues there, Patrick, who wins almost every modified race we call, and he's only about 15. So it's shocking to see what these young kids can do in the simulator, that's for sure. Oh, yeah. Yeah, right. Yeah, and it's cool to see. I got a chance to visit the NASCAR Hall of Fame last year, and I didn't pay the extra to do the simulator, but they've actually integrated iRacing into the Hall of Fame. So if you choose to, you can buy the extra pass and actually get into a simulator and get your name up on the leaderboard there at the Hall of Fame and do all that sorts of cool stuff. So it's kind of cool how they've integrated virtual racing into real racing with it being in the Hall of Fame. Because I remember growing up in Charlotte, we actually had a place in the mall that you actually had to go to like a driver's meeting before you raced, and then they talked to you about the racetrack and what to do, everything, and then they put you in actual like almost like a half a car, and the half a car would move back and forth, and you would actually have to shift and do everything in the race car like you were actually racing. And I think that was just way before its time, before like you said, before iRacing really built up and really got its momentum going. And unfortunately, that place shut down before I think it really caught on, but back to the action here, Patrick. It looks like we are about to wrap up the stage here with only 3 laps to go, if I'm not mistaken. It looks like Michael Wiley has slipped down to 6th position. Landon Gentry is still in this 3rd position. Ernie Williams is in 4th, and I believe jumping up to the top of that leaderboard there, I believe it might be Carter up there leading the way there, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it looks like he is putting on a 4.292. It looks like Matthew Butler behind him just ran a 4.19. So this is a battle right here. It looks like we have a new race leader on the track. Check. Oh no! Let's see who's going to pick up this stage victory here. Again, folks, we are running 20-lap competition cautions just for the drivers to get a hold of these race cars here. But after this halfway mark here, Patrick, we won't have another break until lap 140. We'll see. It looks like it's going to be Dave Carter. It looks like they've already slowed those race cars down here as they head towards the front stretch. Dave Carter is going to go ahead and get this stage victory here and win the halfway point here at the Indy 500. Yeah, definitely. And speaking of young drivers, Patrick, I'm going to see if we can't bring in that 3rd place finisher there at the halfway point. Landon Gentry in for just a quick second and see if he has an opportunity to chat with us just for a minute. Hey, Landon, this is Patrick and Will up here in the 10-4 broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Man, we're coming on to this broadcast just a little bit late. We came on around lap 60, and we saw you there deep down in the field. But once we get those 2 stages in there towards the end and hit that halfway point, you really worked your way back up there. But you finished in that stage around 3rd. Kind of take us through your point of view of tonight's race, and what do you think of these Indy cars? I know you're really good at the stock cars and trucks, but must be a change of pace for everybody.
Yeah, it really is changed. I really like these Indy cars. I'm actually the one that got them to do this. But it's just driving me crazy that we just got halfway after about an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah, in turn one, the restarts, the car just breaks loose all of a sudden. Like, there's nothing you can do about it. Just right when you turn, it just breaks loose. I'm sure gonna try.
Now, Landon, this is a 100% race here tonight. I know it's a little bit different than the usual events in the big show, but and I spoke to Patrick here about you being kind of the heavyweight, if you will, here in the big show. You've won a bunch of races that I've called personally. I know the last event, I think you didn't do so hot in that one, if I'm not mistaken, the last money race, if you will. But Landon, what do you think your chances are here tonight? Do you think you're gonna be able to pull out that victory here in the IndyCar series?
If I don't win, I think I would definitely get top 5 from this. My only struggle is just dirty air. Like, when you have someone, it just gets super, super tight. There's nothing you can really do about it.
Yeah, that's for sure. And Landon, we were talking about as we're still under caution here and a few cars heading down pit road. We're talking about how you younger guys are, we have another guy in our modified series, Caden Tufts, who everybody's accusing of using grip packs because he wins so much. And yeah, right. What is it that makes this game so appealing to you younger kids, and what is it about that makes this game more fun than saying playing like a console game like Fortnite or something like that?
I just think how realistic it really is, and like how this you're racing real people, and you can race actual real NASCAR drivers or IndyCar drivers or whatever.
Yeah, we were talking. I wish this was around the way it is when I was younger or your age. I'd be playing this more. So I would be playing like Halo or Call of Duty or. Um, do you think the more time you spend on the simulator, you'd be able to like, as you said, race against real people? Do you feel like the more time you spend and the more practice you put in the game, the better you get as a race car driver?
Yeah, definitely. The more practice you put makes you better
For
at
sure.
racing.
Alrighty, Landon. Looks like we're about to head to the green flag here, man, and we'll go ahead and let you go. And hopefully, we see that purple machine in victory lane when this thing wraps up.
Hopefully.
Alrighty, appreciate you taking the time with us. We'll talk to you soon.
See.
That was Landon Gentry, everybody, and Landon usually dominates in the stock cars, but racing pretty good here tonight, Patrick, in the IndyCar. Yes, sir. We'll see this restart here. And this is Dave Carter leading them to the line here to get this green flag. And we're going to start this thing off here, folks. We got 100 laps to go here in the Indy 500. This is a 100% race here in the big show. Already you're seeing big moves right behind him. And oh no, there goes Landon. He got clipped from behind. Oh no, and Landon's in big trouble back there, folks. Oh gosh. A couple different purple cars or dark blue cars here on the track there, Patrick. Okay, let's see. Oh no! And there goes. Oh gosh. Michael. Yeah. Oh gosh. And no cautions here, folks. They keep things going here in the big show. We'll see a caution on, I believe, lap 40, if I'm not mistaken, Patrick. Yeah, they run things wide open here in the big show. And, I like these different leagues and the different rules that they have here, Patrick. I know one of our modified leagues, they don't count laps under caution, that's personally my favorite rule of all the leagues that we call. Because you hate to see, 10 or 11, 12 cautions, and then laps are just getting eaten up. You run 2 or 3 laps under caution, that's half the race sometimes. Right. Yeah, for sure, Patrick. And taking a look here at some of the action on the track, and yeah, no cautions here, folks. So if somebody does bang up against the wall and somebody runs into some trouble, things just keep rocking. As you see a car into the wall there on the corner, we're just rocking and rolling here. Almost reminds me of my rugby playing days where there was no stoppage of play. You know, even if somebody got hurt, you just kind of rolled them out of the way and you just kept on. And that's what they do here in the big show. So the objective is to keep your race car clean because you never know what's going to happen in front of you. We're talking about people in front of one another. Looks like Dave Carter's trying to make a move on Jonah Long here. Oh gosh! And that's so sketchy there on the corner, Patrick, to use a skateboard term. You know, you gotta make that block somehow, but you know that guy's right on your tail, and you don't know whether or not you have enough room. You know, your spotter really has to be your best friend there to let you know where that guy is on the track. But it's so hard to call here in these Indy cars, you know, due to the speed and the momentum that you can get in just a split second. You see what's going on here. These are a battle for the lead that we're watching here on the screen, folks. We're live from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and that's a big move right there. But you see what happened there, Patrick, even with that. Oh gosh, so close. And you saw with that wiggle as he tried to make that pass, he lost a lot of momentum with that speed. Check it out here. You see he's going to try to make that pass here going down in the corner. He's going to go high side. But if you don't plan that pass just right, you're going to lose so much speed and lose that momentum. But he's cut right back up. Oh, gosh. And they touch. And you're watching it here. Still a battle for the lead here, folks. Heading down into the corner. They are not giving up on this lead here on lap 110 of 200. We are live here tonight broadcasting the Indy 500, and that's a big move right there, Patrick. Yes, sir. Gotcha. And you see right here down into 1 and 2, they're still battling for the lead here. This is Jonah Long and Dave Carter battling it out here on the backstretch. You see what's going to happen here down into 3 and 4. You see he's still trying to make that move to the inside, but these are pinpoint maneuvers that you have to make. And you see a car hit the wall there for just a brief second. Going to lose so much speed. Oh, he's going to get pushed against the wall. Side by side to the line here, folks. This is Dave Carter and Jonah Long still battling it out here for the lead. But with this battle, here comes the third place car right into the mix. Oh, no! Oh, gosh, big crash. Big crash right there, folks.
Wow.
Oh, man.
Wow, what a run there.
Man. Yes. Oh, my goodness. We'll have to rev up that replay to see what happened there. That was a big crash there. That was a T-bone steak, if you will, there on the backstretch. Man, that was a hard impact there. You watch the battle ensuing here for the lead. And then brushed bang right there. Oh my goodness, that's a hard impact there. And you hate to see it, folks, but nothing you can really do, as me and Patrick have talked about throughout this broadcast here. These cars, just like the modified cars that we call, are super, super sensitive. And, it takes pinpoint accuracy to race these race cars. And you saw it there, just that brief little touch just sent the second place car just right down right there. Man, hard impact there, Patrick.
Yeah, that was something there, bud. Man. Yeah. Unfortunately, the 6 car was able to kind of sneak out of there. That worked out good for him. So we get back here to him. There we go.
Yeah, it looks like you were rocking and rolling there, Patrick, as well. We apologize for the technical difficulties there, folks, but I believe we were both rocking and rolling with our microphones here on lap 114 here of 200. This is a 100% race here. This is a real-life running of the Indy 500 here in the Big Show. And we just saw a battle for the lead ensuing there, and the second place car took a hard impact on that backstretch there with the third place car.
Yeah, and what a heartbreaker that was. What a heartbreaker, but hey, we do get to stop again at 140 and then kind of be able to place this and put it all back together, and give this thing another run. And to me, that's really the best thing about the Big Show is being able to come out and continue your run. I mean, to me, there's no bad luck in this league. You end up towed a little bit, you get another shot. You get towed to the end, you get another shot. I mean, most leagues, I mean, you're wrecked out and you're done for the night, and it breaks your heart if you spend multiple hours practicing, getting your car set up, getting qualified, and somebody makes a mistake, puts you into the wall and turn lap 5, the second turn, and that's it for you. So I mean, it's really one of the positives I look at for the Big Show is just between the fast repairs, the tires, and being able to have another chance to give this thing another run.
Yeah, Patrick, and the cool thing about the Big Show, as well as the 12 cars that are still in the mix in this event, meaning the 12 cars that are still on the lead lap, only the 12th position is 7 seconds behind. The rest of the cars are still in contention there, Patrick. I believe they're only a second, maybe 1.5, 1.9 is the 11th place position. So being 2 seconds behind, yeah, it might seem like a huge distance between you and the lead, but as we've seen, folks, anything can happen in front of you. So a lot of these cars are still in the mix here on lap, I believe this is lap 117 or 116 here, 117. So we see a pass for the lead right there.
Nah, I think that was just a shot for 5th position, I believe.
Yeah, and that's is that Michael Wiley trying to get back up in the mix here, or he just get leapfrogged by Ernie Williams?
Yeah, there we go. Now we're looking back here, Michael Wiley and Dave Carter. So these two have been battling all night. All night.
Yeah. This is for the 6th position on the track. And Michael Wiley, when we came on the broadcast here, folks, he was leading the race here, but has run into a bit of trouble here. We did see him get in an accident there with Landon Gentry just a little while ago, but it's that maneuver right there, Patrick, and you see that wiggle as you try to go to the back of that race car as close as you can. But you see what I was talking about. When you do make that fast pass, you ride that momentum around the car in front of you. But then almost like your car gets sucked back in by the car behind you, and that run's just killed as they make contact, and they both get taken out on the backstretch.
Wow, dude.
Oh, man.
Absolutely destroyed that car. Absolutely destroyed that car. Wow. Talk about wild turn of events. And I was really hoping these two would kind of put this rivalry away and race their way up to the front. But man, they definitely paid for that one.
Gosh. But it was interesting for a minute to see the dynamics of the Indy cars there. And, even though he did make a super pass around him, using that wiggle maneuver, if you will, you put that nose right on the back air bubble there, trying to get around these Indy cars. That momentum gets killed as you're trying to go around the cars. That's what enables that side-by-side racing. And if you don't have control of your car, if you're not steady on the wheel, you will make contact. I'm just taking a look on my screen there. My screen's a little delayed. Yep, they just got so close to one another that there's really nothing you can do. And the wheel will just jerk out of your hands, if you will.
Yeah, I don't know if I was going to blame that one on netcode, though. That looked like somebody wanted a few more feet than the other one was willing to give.
Yeah, you really can't put your wheel in the middle of these cars. There's nothing. This is not Fast and Furious where you can go underneath the semi truck.
Yeah. See if we get a peek up here at the leaders. I believe Ryan is only running by half a second off that leader there, so he's trying to keep him within distance, but half a second is still a long way to go. I mean, that could be somewhere between 5 or 6 car lengths, so that's still ways to go. But Jonah Long, after a wild turn of events, is able to lead this race here. Looking good.
Yeah, Patrick, as crazy and as action packed as this race has been for us so far up here in the booth, whoever's up in the lead or in this lead pack racing it out, they're not too far away from one another. So, it's not going to take much for these guys to reel each other in. But you are seeing Jonah Long now leading the proceedings. You've got Ryan Avila, who's been leading up there as well. Ryan's been one of those names, too, since we've come on the broadcast here around lap 60. Throughout all the craziness that's happened in front of him, he's really stuck his car up there in the top 5 and hasn't really faded at all.
Yeah, he's doing really a great job. I noticed he kind of dropped back there for a little bit. I think he got tied up in one of those wrecks, but has rebounded amazingly. And if I remember, if memory serves me right, Jonah Long, I think, won one of the stages at the last Big Show we broadcasted there, Will.
There you go. Yeah, I was believe on that weekend I was up in Orlando, so I missed that race, or I did call a modified race on Sunday night, and it's awesome to join you up here in the booth here tonight. Our race got postponed or pushed a week, so lucky to have this opportunity to broadcast this Indy 500 for you folks at home and join Patrick here tonight. And Patrick, these big show races, whether it's here in the IndyCar series or in the Stock Car series, or sometimes they run trucks as well. It's really interesting format, and I love the amount of track time and practice and the skill that these drivers put into these races. And you see it here tonight. Another battle for the lead right now, Patrick, heading down into 3 and 4. And you really see that, as Landon talked about, one of the youngest drivers in tonight's field, the more practice and the more track time you put into the simulator makes you a better driver, and it equals wins. As simple as that sounds, Patrick, practice makes perfect. You really need to put in the practice on a game like this or a simulator like this, because you really can't get into these cars cold. And oh no, you see the leader getting loose there.
Oh man, no, I believe we have Keith Long there. Might have just lost it. Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Oh no.
Man. Yeah, we're kind of trying to float around the track here, give everybody a little camera time, and unfortunately, it almost seems like every time I put a camera on somebody ends up with a little bit of bad luck. So, man.
It's crazy to see that, though, Patrick, because as I was mentioning Landon Gentry in our interview that when we spoke with him, he talked about how these cars do get loose all of a sudden. You start getting on the gas, you think you've got it around these corners, that back end will just come right up from underneath you, and you really got to have fantastic wheel control to save these race cars.
Yeah, there's no real second to sleep on these cars. I mean, as you can see here, Landon just kind of having a battle the front of this car. As you can see, he kind of slides up, so he's having. Yeah, you see how his hands are working. Man, he's just fighting that car so much. So yeah, Landon may have to kind of change his angle a little bit there, kind of maybe dive in a little later, because you see he dives in. Yeah, much better. See that? See how the car goes? Yeah,
oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's all on your strategy and how it feels. But yeah, he did say he's having trouble between 1 and 2, so he's having a heck of a time there. So we'll keep an eye on Landon and make sure everything's good.
Gosh, it's going to be quite the workout. Even on the simulator, the training and everything that the F1 and IndyCar drivers go through. But even on the simulator, to try to handle these cars and control these cars, you got to come off of this race, with your arms sore. You're probably sweating a little bit. It's going to be quite the workout to try to keep this car clean throughout the race.
Yeah, and it's definitely a workout. I mean, there's a reason why even the drivers they go around even off track. These guys are working out. They're lifting weights and things like that. Because it's not easy. I mean, you're taking left turns all day, sometimes rights here in the Indy cars or in some of the road courses that you see NASCAR doing, but it's not easy. I mean, that wheel is fighting you back. The entire car is fighting you back, and it's just and you're doing it for almost 3-4 hours at a time.
Right.
So yeah, well, I mean, I was gonna say some people just kind of pass this off as it's the same guys making left turns. It can't be that hard, and give it a shot. I was gonna say, go out there and give it a shot. I know I've done the Richard
Right.
Petty experience myself, and it's not as easy as it looks.
Oh, no.
I think I'm a fairly good driver, so it comes a little easier to me than some folks. But you don't get the fact of the speed and how difficult it is to turn if your setup isn't just right. You know, you lose as fast. But man, just being able to battle the car around the turn and keep it doing what you want it to do is a feat in itself, Will. Really.
Oh, yeah. For sure. As we're seeing a battle right there going out into 3 and 4. This is admin versus admin. I believe this is Ray Garcia versus Landon Gentry here on the track, Patrick. Watching here, as you saw, once that car got into the mix between them, Ray was able to gain a little bit more speed. Landon was sucked into that car, but now you see Landon starting to close that pace here, and I believe this is a battle for the 6th position, if I'm not mistaken there, Patrick.
Yeah, Landon's trying to run down Ray Garcia there, but I believe Michael Wiley, he's kind of reeling him in too. So I know these two. So you're looking at the 6th, 7th, and 8th position.
Just inside the top 10 there, and we were talking about there, Patrick, how these things are a workout, and you were able to drive that Richard Petty driving experience. And you know, I remember my time in that experience. I was so young that they had to give me a booster seat to ride around in there because my uncle used to be a driver. My uncle used to drive those things, and I remember the time when I went to go do it. You know, I was at the time. Oh no! Oh man!
Landon.
Hard impact there.
Man, he's gonna need a new spine after that one. Wow, that was a hit.
Gosh, I believe that was Landon Gentry that just took that hard impact there on the inside wall. And it could have been what we've mentioned here a few times throughout this broadcast here. You know, that front end gets loose. And it's like you're on ice skates there, Patrick. You know, cue up the hockey season right now because you really got to save that race car.
Yeah.
Bang! Bang! Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, what a way for the car coming up here to notice he's up at the top of that track and able to kind of get out of the way. Wow. That was close. That was very, very close. Holy cow.
And ever since we spoke to Landon there, he's just had a rough go with things here. We may have put the commentator's curse on him just a little bit.
Oh, man, I hope not, because he's a really good driver. I just hate to see
He
it
is.
turn out like that.
And you see right now with all that craziness there, Michael Wiley has slipped down to the 8th position. Ray Garcia is up to, I believe, the 6th position. So Ray's really trying to put his hat into the mix here, Patrick. When we came on here, he was kind of racing in the back of that field. He was like one of those drivers that spoke about, you know, these cars do take a little bit to get down pat, to figure him out, if you will. But you're starting to see him really find his groove here. Try to work up through that field to get his hat into the mix here, folks. But looks like that leader, though, is just leading the way here. And that's Jonah Long, holding off Ryan Avila in 2nd place.
Go here.
And folks, we got
There we go.
about
That's Jonah. There he is. Let's see if we can get a kind of a peek at distance-wise.
got about 8 laps to go here in this stage.
Look at that. Kind of hanging out there. So I think he's got about 2 seconds on the guy from in 2nd place with Ryan. So, yeah, he's kind of... Ryan's got some ground to make up, that's for sure, as here he comes riding down the front stretch.
Yeah, and I think if you can start catching just a tail end of that draft, you know, get close enough to that guy, these Indy cars really make it more the ability to reel in somebody, if you will. You know, you're throwing that line way out there, you know, using that cast reel to get that line out in the water, use a fishing reference there. But you just got to get close enough to catch that guy. And that's the thing about these Indy cars, that if you can have a big enough gap on 2nd place, just it's so difficult to try to reel them in there. Even if you had somebody that you're working with behind you, it's not like NASCAR or modifieds where you can kind of work in tandem or kind of work with each other. You know, you start racing with somebody, you got somebody behind you, it kills your momentum. So it's really best to race this race right here, you know, as lonely and, you know, as I say depressing as it is, knowing that the leader's 2 seconds in front of you, this is where you want to be though, Patrick. You know, you want to start catching that tail end of the draft, because once you do, you start getting in your mind, okay, now I'm starting to reel them in. There's nobody behind me to slow me down, and it's just me and the leader having to battle it out.
Yeah, yeah, and then you do have the opportunity of lap traffic here. As you can see, Jonah Long may be catching up to Landon Gentry, Stephen Smith, and I believe Keith Long as well. Kind of catching up to them and possibly actually slow the leader down for you if you're hanging out there in the second position. But yeah, it's nice kind of being able to race out here, you know, calm, cool, and collected, where you know you're not having to rub wheel to wheel and risk, you know, damage or a wreck here at the same time. But Ryan Avila here doing really well. He's past couple laps he's picked up 3/10 on the leader here. So definitely maybe not as much tire fall off as Jonah Long is feeling right now. But I believe our stage here will be done in about 4 or 5 laps here, bud. So it's gonna be they're gonna kind of wrap it up here pretty soon.
Yeah, this would be the end of almost halfway. 140 is going to mark about 50 or 60 laps to go. So we're close to the end here at the Indy 500 here in the big show. And we've seen a lot of lead changes so far just on us coming on the air here, Patrick. And we've seen a few leaders crash out, get loose. We spoke to Michael Wiley there. We spoke to Ray Garcia as well as Landon Gentry. And from the tones of their voices there, you know, as confident as you may be as your racing ability, you know, racing on iRacing, for lack of a better term there, these cars really take it out of you. You really got, as we took a few rides along with Landon there, you really got to be on your toes in these race cars here. You can't really take a second to think, you know, otherwise. You know, you can't really drift away, if you will, lose attention, because these cars really take it out of you. You know, you've seen that nose get really wiggly there on the front of these corners. You know, you've seen passes there where you get just barely close enough to a guy, you're going to brush up against them and get taken out. And then we've also seen where drivers have so much speed around these corners, you're going to bounce off the wall and maybe hit the inside wall or have your tire crunch up on the outside.
Yeah, and it's difficult, man. I mean, this is you can't take anything away from these drivers. I mean, even seeing Landon there kind of pit early, you know, these guys are looking for just that little extra edge with the, you know, even with pit strategy, being able to kind of, you know, everybody may pit here at that 140 and may not, you know, go ahead and get tires and fuel. They've already fueled up and you know, and put fresh shoes on the car. So everybody's kind of jumping for that extra little bit of time here and there. And it's hard to say, you know, it's you know, you're reaching for every tenth that you can at this point, because I mean, with a race getting this long and kind of pulling away, you gotta look for something. You gotta pull the rabbit out of the hat at this point, Will, because we're gonna start narrowing down here, you know, with less than 60 to go here in a few laps.
You're gonna be like Cal Naughton and Talladega Nights, you know, the magic man. Now you see me, now you don't, type of deal. As we're seeing Ryan or Jonah Long's up there just loving life there in those red shoes, or red rims, if you will. It reminds me of the Red Bull racing cars from back in the day. But you start to see, you know, Ryan Avila is maybe catching that tail end of that draft there, as you start to see that gap close in just a little bit. And taking a look at those lap speeds, you know, he's catching them on the lap speeds there, Patrick. Running just slightly faster, not by much, not like a significant amount of speed, but definitely starting to close them in there on the lap speeds.
Yeah, but I was going to say, I mean, I thought I was looking at just about half a second is when he ran him down last lap. He's got him within just about 7/10, almost half a second here off Jonah. So, but like I said, this is getting ready to wind down here in the stage caution. Man. Yeah, they're getting ready to wind down to a stage caution here, and then they're going to kind of bunch back up. I believe Jonah and Ryan are definitely going to have to pit this time, because some of these other drivers are kind of rolling those dice right now and seeing if they can go ahead and get their shot up front by pitting early. So I like that. I like their strategy. But man, good on Jonah Long to be able to take this stage win here.
Yeah, big win for him. Didn't really face any competition here in this stage. We saw the few of the guys get up there in the lead. We saw a second place car get T-bone stake there on the backstretch. So really action-packed, but none of the action was up there at the lead, as we saw Jonah Long just really pull out that stage victory there. And what a stage victory it was here, Patrick. And we're creeping up almost to the conclusion here of the Indy 500 here in the big show.
Yes, we are. But man, you already see how we've been here a good while, and we still got 660, just under 60 to go, and it's this is a blast. This is action packed. But what I would like to see so far is Ernie Williams here in the 91 car. I believe that'll be the second stage. You and I have seen him kind of spin out there on turn 1. I think he kind of keeps ending up on the inside lane, hitting that grass and kind of spinning his way around, which is kind of a bummer. But hey, man, I think if he could keep it clean, he might have, a stage win, if not the whole race in the bag. Instead of hanging out here in third, Will.
Yeah, Ernie's one of those drivers too that really hasn't faded. Him and Ryan throughout this broadcast here. You see Michael Wiley has kind of worked his way back up there as well, but both Ryan and Ernie have really kept those cars up there in the top 5. Stayed clear of all the action that we've seen so far here tonight in the big show. And as you said, one of those cars that can really put their name or their hat into the mix here towards the end as we're starting to see those cars head down pit road here. And Patrick, you got to assume this might be one of the last pit stops we see. Maybe we'll see some pit stops here on lap 180, the next stage break here. But assuming this is the last pit stop here, what should the drivers be focusing on here down pit road?
Tire wear. That's all I can figure. I mean, fuel is one thing. You can see we've been separating pretty well here during the whole race. So my whole thing would be tire wear. You can see a perfect example would be Landon Gentry. You saw how that was going. He was doing real well, and then just seemed like the tire fall off, and he was having more and more trouble out of turn 1 and 2. But yeah, they're gonna have their work cut out for him trying to get these cars under control, because they're definitely wanting to walk away from them. So yeah, what I would be looking for is probably tire wear at this point. Is trying to conserve and stay clean, because these cars keep kind of getting bent up here on the restart, which is kind of a bummer, but things happen. Mistakes are made.
Yes, sir, indeed. And when we spoke to Landon, he talked about how the front end of these cars get really, like you said, they run away from you. They come up from underneath you. It's not like the magic carpet in Aladdin where that thing's going to stay underneath you. These things will start to wiggle. These things will start to get loose, and you really got to stay on that wheel to control these things here. And we spoke to Michael Wiley. He said it's like racing a go-kart. But if you've ever been to a go-kart track, the only go-kart track that I think I've been to is like NASCAR Speed Park in Charlotte. But even then, Patrick, if you've been to a go-kart track that's not like an official go-kart track, go-karts themselves are difficult to control. Even going around corners and trying to pass people, you try to make a pass on somebody, you'll be on the wall, and then somebody has to come peel you off the wall to get things racing again. And that's a good analogy of what we've seen here tonight, with these cars going around the corners is where things get hairy. But here we go, folks. The green flag's about to drop once again here. Looks like Ryan Avila is going to take that green flag with Ernie Williams right behind him. Jonah Long in third. Harold Gothsacker in fourth. And Matthew Butler in fifth. Oh, hard impact right behind the leaders there, Patrick.
What in the world just happened? Holy cow, looked like a couple cars got folded up there in the back.
Yeah, that was a rough impact there. I'll have to rev up that replay to see what happened there. It was right on the restart there, Patrick, and that was crazy right there to see those cars just wham the wall there. I believe that was on the exit of 2. And that's unfortunate to see here with less than 60 laps to go. I hate to see your race really get shifted that way, as we saw a bunch of cars get tagged up in that.
Yeah, sorry about that. You gotta give me a second, because this is a tough one to catch. Let's see if we can try to give this a shot from this angle. We're gonna ride with Landon Gentry, and you'll kind of see, wow, it peels up there, and then it kind of falls back.
Man.
And then the second round, we got some tire smoke there. So yeah, that was a hard hit. That was a hard hit there, bud.
That was actually kind of cool to see, though, riding along with Landon there with these cars. I don't know if it's a new update or maybe we just don't see it in our other series there, but the actual debris flying at you on the track there, that was really cool to see there. You don't have to just dodge the cars on the track. You actually have to dodge the debris as well.
Yeah, and that really is. That's just from a iRacing update package that they came up with. Is originally you just hit the wall and he kind of sees some cosmetic damage, or it would tell you have damage. But the new update, man, it's got pieces fly off. I mean, when you hit the wall, it breaks suspension now. So, I mean, it's kind of nice. You do, like every video game, you have that guy who we call griefing. You know, somebody who likes causing trouble out there. And
Right.
this, to me, is a good way to keep the griefers out of the room and you racing well. You know, because when you hit the wall and you see that right front tire come off, you're done for the race. I mean, it's real time. So, and it's refreshing. It's nice to. Oh man!
Oh
Man, look like Wiley might have clipped a Villa there. I think that's who he nailed. Yeah, boy, that stinks. He's been racing second and been doing quite well, but yeah, guess Wiley got a little too wily.
no! Yeah, right.
Yeah,
A little
trying
Wile E. Coyote action there.
Yeah, trying to fight to get back in the lead. As Ernie Williams, as we were talking about before, him with the kind of crummy restarts there, actually did really well. And is actually, I believe he's leading. We got him as our leader. All right.
Yeah, Michael Wiley's up there. Landon Gentry's up there as well in third position. So, I mean, you saw during this broadcast here, folks, Landon Gentry was caught up in some trouble. Michael Wiley was caught up as well, and they've done a great job of putting their cars back into contention here. But it looks like we are under caution here, Patrick.
Yeah, that's so it seems. Yeah, that we are.
On lap 146 there. We'll have to speak with race control to see why the caution came out there, because the way we've been racing here tonight, Patrick, with a lot of these hard impacts and T-bone stakes on the backstretch, we didn't see a caution then there, so race control must have felt like this was a good time to throw that caution, so we'll see if we can't bring race control in here to see why that caution flag was thrown.
Yeah, and this really works out for Ryan Avila, being able to kind of work his way back up here after that slight bump there from Wiley. Man, that kind of it works out good for him, but man, that kind of stinks. Definitely having to fight through a couple more cars to get back where you were. So
Yeah.
but we'll get a hold of race control here and see what exactly happened. And
Hey, Ray, this is Will and Patrick up here in the booth. We were just wondering why that caution was thrown just a second ago.
You know, Ryan's been doing really well this whole race, and I'm not sure what happened to him, but I threw it out of courtesy. He's new with us, so I just threw it out of courtesy for him, put him back, get him and Mike Butler. They've both been having a good race, so I'm going to pick them back up, and then we'll go green
Okay.
next lap.
Excellent. Yeah, it looked like Michael Wiley might have gotten into Ryan Avila there and kind of put him in the wall. He's been racing really well tonight, and it just looked like a little mishap. One guy got a little too hungry for that turn and kind of got him turned around.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing on the radio is that Michael got into the back of him. So I threw the yellow because they're good racers, they're doing well. So I'll pick them up and we'll go green next time.
Alrighty, hey, appreciate it. I'm sure the admin of this will be your admin of the big show, and what I appreciate your call there, but give everybody another chance. I like that. Thank you.
Alrighty.
That was a good call there, Patrick. And it's great to see here in the big show, your courtesy to other drivers. Some of the other leagues, drivers get mad, they get taken out, they leave leagues. In some instances, I know some of the leagues that we're calling, we're losing a couple of drivers just because incidences like that where one driver is super apologetic, didn't mean to, like you said, you're racing really competitive on the corners and you unfortunately make contact, but we love to see it here out of the big show here, and Ray felt like, those drivers are really racing well up there in the lead and racing each other clean here throughout, and it was just an unfortunate mistake by Michael Wiley, and felt like that caution was a fair game, if you will.
Yeah, and good move there, but I was going to say, if everybody takes a peek, I'm trying to give us a little look at Landon Gentry here, and he seems to, if I'm not mistaken, that's Oscar the Grouch's helmet.
Just check it out there.
Big old green
That
helmet there.
might be, that might be there.
I like that. Oh, Mountain Dew. Man, look at that. Back on the green flag there, Will.
Back green flag racing here in the Indy 500. This is brought to you by The Big Show, and we are live on 10-4 broadcasting, folks, and we came onto this race about lap 60. We were late here on the broadcast, and been an awesome race for us up here in the booth so far. Oh, man, as we see a car literally disintegrate down the backstretch there.
Wow. Holy cow. You want to see that on the replay?
Let's do it up. Rev up that 10-4 broadcast and replay.
Wow. Wow, what in the world happened there?
Just disintegrated down the backstretch there, Patrick.
Let me see if I can get us a better view. Wow. I mean, just blew the car to pieces. Who in the world was that?
Check it out here, folks. And we are just past halfway here in the Indy 500. They are running a 100% race here in the Big Show. And these Big Show races are some of the best leagues that we call here, Patrick. We only usually broadcast them once a month. But here we go with this replay. It's exactly what happened.
Oh.
Wham! Right there.
Man, I was trying to find somebody who survived that one. Holy cow.
Just got squeezed on that top side.
Yeah, that was an ugly shot.
Check it out here, folks. And we want to thank everybody for joining us here and tuning into this broadcast. I know the Big Show really appreciates it. And if you are watching along with us on YouTube or Facebook, if you wanted to shout out your favorite driver or who you think is going to win here tonight, we invite you to do that because we really don't know who's going to come home with the race win here tonight, Patrick. It's really been anybody's race here. I've seen a few names stick their nose up there in the top 5 throughout, but nobody's really broken out as a clear favorite.
Yeah, I was going to say, if we actually, while we were doing this other replay, this happened right after that. Man.
Oh,
no! Look at that wheel.
Oh, gosh.
Man. Holy cow. This is turning into some race here, man. Holy cow.
It always is here in the Big Show, Patrick. It always is. And no change up there at the top as we were showing you folks a few replays there, a few of the incidences we've had just on that restart alone. Ernie Williams is still up there in second place. Ryan Avila is in third. Michael Wiley's in fourth. Heath Rutherford, a big name here in the Big Show, no pun intended there, is in fifth. Looks like Harold Goth-Sacker is in sixth. And then Landon Gentry is in seventh. And we talked about it through this broadcast here, Patrick. You know, even though you might be in the 7th or 8th position, you're still in the mix because you can really reel in anybody in these Indy cars.
Yeah, it's just it's hard to say even reeling people into the Indy cars, man. We got cars folding up so fast. I mean, it's hard to even guess who might have a chance here. I mean, because you see the battle here for the top spot. I mean, these three right here are within 0.2 of a second. The clutch of three of them. So I think you're about to find some action here in just a little bit. But any clear winner, no way. No way, Will. I wouldn't be able to make a call anywhere on this.
Oh, man. Look at this, Patrick. I believe this is a battle for the lead right now. We got 3 cars literally inches from each other right now. Heading to the backstretch, you got Ryan Avila right there in that multicolored car. Oh, no! You got a little loose there. Got Ernie Williams up there, Matthew Butler as well. You see Michael Wiley's trying to creep his car into the picture. We got a side-by-side race right now between Matthew Butler and Ryan Avila. Ryan Avila's going to overtake right there on the corner. What a clean pass that was there, Patrick. But you see Matthew Butler's not giving up. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh, man. And Ryan Avila's going to get overtaken there with a big run at Matthew Butler. He's going to try to put his nose out into the front. Try to get around Ernie Williams here around the corner. They're going to head down the backstretch here. And Matthew Butler is going to stay side by side for just a second. Nope. He's going to file right back in. He's going to try it again. Going to inch back out to the inside, going down into 3 and 4 here. Matthew Butler is going to overtake, heading to the front stretch around 4. Oh, no!
Oh, man.
There goes Ernie to the inside. Use that momentum around the corner. There goes Matthew Butler again, swinging back in. Man, this is crazy up here at the top.
Oh, yeah, definitely chopping back and forth. But Ryan Avila, watching this all from the back, gonna have to stay out of trouble in case these two decide to touch.
He's starting to chill back just a little bit. He's throwing up that footrest of the lazy boy. He's just going to watch this action from afar. As you see Ernie Williams, Matthew Butler are battling it out here. And you see just a second, you see Ernie's going to try the inside lane there. But as we talked about on the broadcast here, even with those big passes, you're going to lose a lot of momentum. You're not going to be able to pull away from Matthew just yet, as Matthew's going to stay on that back bumper. Heading down the front stretch here. Looks like Ernie Williams going to lead this lap here, but the battle's not over yet, as Matthew's going to try to do the inside down into 1 and 2.
Oh, yeah. Matthew Butler
man.
goes in and takes that lead. He was tired of checking up in front of him from that last couple of laps there. But, all right, yeah, Matthew Butler able to kind of hold it out here, taking it down the backstretch. Definitely see that weaving, trying to break that draft. I love the call. But, man, you can see these three right here, Will. This is gonna be a tight race for a little while. Oh man.
No! And I believe that was Matthew Butler that just went too low on the track there. His tires hit the grass, but a great job of saving that race car there. Any less skillful driver would have lost control of that, but he's going to lose some positions on the track there, as I believe that's the Landon Gentry that's going to overtake. Nope, that's going to be Michael Wiley that's going to overtake. Michael Wiley's trying to get his car back up into the front there, Patrick.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but in the front, these two, Ernie Williams definitely is not finished yet. So I think with Ernie Williams, Ryan Avila, and Michael Wiley are going to be battling out here for a little bit, and the more they keep kind of chopping back and forth here is allowing the rest of the field to kind of catch them instead of checking up for the draft and then going ahead and working as a team. But yeah, this is a battle here, Will. This is something. Being able to kind of slide in behind him there, and take the draft out from under him, kind of give it back to him, take it back away, and then just kind of loosen him up a little bit so you can make that move later on in the race.
And you saw just a little while ago, Michael Wiley and Ryan Avila made that contact, and race control thought it was just a terrible mistake there by Michael Wiley to go ahead and throw that yellow and let the boys stack back up there. And you see it here in the big show. It's all fairness. It's all for fun, really, Patrick. But you do want to win this race. If there's ever a race that you want... Oh, as you see, Ryan's going to brush that wall.
But you see, light brush can end up causing damage. So fortunately, with no damage there, if it were actual, it would have taken his wheel right off, and that would have been the end of his race. So it just goes to show you how fragile these cars are. So you do give up, instead of rigidity and being able to continue the race, but you get the fragile car with so much speed. So these cars are really zipping around here, Will.
Yeah, going 200 plus miles an hour. This makes it the most exciting race of the IndyCar series, in my opinion. But as you see, Ryan Avila is going to try to the inside around. Michael Wiley is going to try to take that position back. But you see it in these Indy cars, sometimes in the stock cars, the modifieds, you get around somebody, you can really take off. You can leave them in your dust, if you will. But in these Indy cars, you have a battle on your hands for multiple laps until you can start to pull away from somebody.
Yeah, and it's not, and you can try every turn, but man, it's just hard. It's just hard kind of getting in front of them and staying out front. Because these two, they're making clean passes right now, but I think somebody's going to start getting a little agitated. Because, I believe you can see Ernie Williams looking to go ahead and try to sneak on the inside of Ryan here. So, yep, definitely got to keep it clean, hang that high line, and see, there you go. Just kind of do the top to bottom move. Kind of hold him back, hold him in there. Wow. Yeah, as they go across the finish line here and dive into turn one. Man, that's tight.
Yeah, they're inches or centimeters apart from one another, and it's just takes a lot of it out of you as a driver to hold that composure, to maintain that line. Make sure you don't make contact with somebody, as these boys have been racing for a solid about 3 hours now, and you hate for your night to end like that. You can get a quick repair, if you will, on the track, but you still want to finish good with all this effort you've put into the race here tonight.
Yeah, and effort effort is a good word. It's man, I'm sorry. You're about to see Ernie go ahead and make that move again. Great move sliding up in front of him. So yeah, you kind of see him kind of switching off here, kind of giving each other room. But yeah, I would say something's got to give here, Will. I don't really know how much longer. I'm glad to see the clean racing. We're not bumping, banging. No one's getting taken out. This is great. This is great. I love this. This could end up being bad and both of them getting knocked out, but they're giving each other room when they deserve it. So I'm liking what I'm seeing here, Will.
Yeah, me as well. This has been quite the competitive race from start to finish here, and it's just side by side between Michael Wiley and Ryan Avila here, and this is a battle for the second position. So it's really giving Ernie an opportunity to really pull away with this thing at the lead.
Oh, man. Yeah, I was going to say battle for second. Man, this is a battle for the first position. Holy cow. I mean, this is looking great. And it looked like somebody might have gotten tumbled up there, back there in the back. Not sure who that was. Oh, man.
And as this battle is ensuing here between Ryan Avila and Michael Wiley, like I said, Ernie is just starting to pull away here. But we're starting to see now Ryan Avila is the race leader, has caught Ernie Williams there, Patrick.
Oh, yeah. The two of them have been battling, but I think you're talking about Michael Wiley pulling him within half a second.
Yeah, he's back there a bit, yeah.
Yeah, so he's keeping them in their sights. He's working on it. Definitely keeping a good race line, but like we were talking about earlier, is tire fall off. I think these gentlemen do have about 15 more laps to go before the next stage break. So if they've been conservative, such as Michael Wiley staying conservative here, this might be his time to go, and you may see a whole bunch of speed getting picked up. Instead of what you see how Ernie Williams and Ryan Avila here is kind of chopping back and forth, trying to get through here. Someone trying to maintain the lead. You see him swerving back and forth, and each time you turn this wheel a little bit, it's just a little more wear on those tires, just a little more wear each time. And I think Michael Wiley will be looking to capitalize on that, as he took away, I believe, the first couple of stage wins when we got on here.
Yeah, he sure did there, Patrick, but we did see him get tangled up there in a few instances, and you see right now he's trying to get his name back into the mix here. But this battle for the lead, this has been going on for quite a few laps here, Patrick, and we're creeping up, as you mentioned, about 24 laps to go here in the stage, and once we hit that next stage break, Patrick, there's only going to be 20 laps to go here in the Indy 500.
Yeah, and that, like I was saying, that I'm excited for that shootout, because I think that's going to be the one to watch. I think you're going to see the tie up here with Ernie Williams, Ryan Avila, Michael Wiley, and I think Landon Gentry is going to show up somewhere in the midst of this. Now, I know he's back there about a lap down in 5th position, so I think he's kind of just biding his time, staying safe. I mean, it is a good spot for him to be hanging out in, but I think later on it's gonna come back and he's gonna be in contention for one of these top spots.
You're seeing right now, Landon Gentry right now, according to the grid, he's putting up last lap he ran a 40.4, so that puts him up there. Just amongst the leaders at a 40.4.
Yeah, that'd be his fastest lap. I believe his last lap was a 41.3. So that's the difference between your fastest lap and your tire fall off, as he pulls a 41.1 there. So he's starting to pick up a little speed there. So looking good. Definitely
starting to look there, and looking at Ryan, I believe, is heading down pit road there. Patrick, not seeing him on the grid there. The last lap time was a 51.6.
Yep. Yeah, it looks like the two leaders you had originally go ahead and took that pit, stop down pit road, which has now put Wiley up in the lead. But these two still neck and neck, even out of pit road. Not giving up there. Wow.
Yeah, Patrick, and that's an interesting move to see here with less than 12 laps to go here in the stage. Is it something to where they're just kind of planning on getting those pit stops out of the way now, so that way you don't have to worry about when that stage break happens to have to pit again?
It's a possibility. That would be a gamble. Probably one I wouldn't want to take with as many cars as we have left on the track. I think they've noticed, here and probably through some of the race control traffic, is these guys are falling off by about a second and a half. And that can start adding up quick if somebody who decides to take tires, such as, Landon Gentry or Michael Wiley, who decides to take tires earlier, is going to make up a second and a half faster than you every lap he's out there. And you still have to take tires. So, it's not good to pit too soon. It's not good to pit late. There's kind of that fine line of when to pit, and you got about three lap window. So these two pitting here on lap 168 is probably a pretty good idea. To stay out here. Oof. As you kind of see Ernie Williams kind of bite the wall a couple times there. He may have some trouble getting them tires to heat up on him. So there may be marbles still left on the track, so it's going to cause a bit of a rolling issue kind of coming out of those turns. So, but yeah, I mean, we got lap 170, so our break is at 180, so we're coming about 10 to go.
Yeah, it has been action-packed from start to finish here in this stage. We're running just a little bit longer gaps here, folks, in this second half of the race, and it's really been our battle between Michael Wiley Ryan Avila and Ernie Williams up there. But during those green flag pit stops, they've gotten shuffled down into the mix here, Patrick, and the leader on the track right now is Michael Wiley in that 48 machine.
Yeah, nice to see him make that rebound back. But speaking of rebounds and kind of Heath Rutherford actually up here in the second position in that 98 car. Good to see him actually rolling around because we were showing earlier in the replays of him avoiding not one but two accidents there when things were kind of blowing apart on the restart. So yeah, I mean, crazy turn of events. But hey, look at you, Heath. You're running second, bud. But he's coming down pit road. Smart move. I believe Michael Wiley also coming down pit road, and these guys are going to go ahead and get some tires and try to get this thing squared away.
Yeah, big moves there. Go ahead and get that pit stop out of the way. So when that stage break does happen, you're already good to go there for the last 20 laps here in the Indy 500. And this is brought to you by The Big Show here on 10-4 Broadcasting. And we came onto the broadcast just a tad late there, about 60 laps in. Came in kind of last minute, if you will, Patrick. But it has not been has been worth it, I'd have to say here in the booth, because it has been action-packed from the minute we came onto the broadcast. And we've seen single-car accidents, we've seen T-bones on the backstretch, we've seen cars hit the grass, seen cars hit that inside wall a few times, and just really shows how difficult these, I know I've said it a few times here on the broadcast, how difficult these race cars are to control. I know we spoke to Landon Gentry. He spoke about how the front end kind of bounces away from you there, and Michael Wiley said it's like racing a go-kart. So it's really taken a lot of these drivers here tonight to hold their skill on those wheels, to really use their iRacing gloves, if you will, if you race with gloves, or if you're a Tiger Woods of iRacing, you don't use any gloves at all on the wheel. It's really taken a lot out of you. I know if I'm racing in this race here tonight, I'm going to shake those arms out at this next stage break, take a little stretch. Those last 20 laps, man, you really got to put it to you. It's like that last quarter of a mile if you're on the treadmill and you want to get that mile in.
Yeah, and I was going to say at that point, I'm cramping up. I can't breathe.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, fine pieces of machinery out here. Being able to kind of turn and burn with the amount of laps they're able to turn. But I believe we're looking at Ryan Avila, Ernie Williams, and Michael Wiley to round out your top three. So, great running. Great running out of all these drivers so far. I mean, and you do see here, Will, of people getting in trouble and falling back and actually able to bounce back is really great. You know, and that's one of the things that the Big Show brings to you. You know, is the side-by-side racing. You do get the crazy crashes that, you know, some people like to see. I personally don't. I like being able to come out of there clean and in the front, but you know, having that second chance again. And then I believe in the main Big Show events, I mean, I believe these boys even race for money, don't they?
Oh, yeah, they race for iRacing cash. I do remember one race that I called Landon Gentry. Basically won every single thing you can. He won the Hard Charger Award. He started on the pole. He led the most laps. Picked up a few stage victories. So I think in that race, the last time I called for the Big Show, he walked away with almost $200 plus in that money raise.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, as an iRacer with you know memberships and cost of tracks and cars, I mean, yeah, $200 that helps. That helps a lot. I mean, you'll be able to get, you know, some of the tracks that you don't have. If you want to go out and race a Volkswagen Beetle, you can get you one of those. You know, and sometimes paint schemes. You know, some people like running different kind of paint schemes. You know, and that's always good to have. But I mean, I believe it's even free to race. I think it's even you can even join for free. You know, as long as you're a clean driver and you know and you hold your, you know, you're not out there playing bumper cars the whole time. You know.
No.
Yeah, because I mean there is some decorum. You gotta behave.
Right, exactly.
You can't bumper car your way to the front, but you know they do expect a certain amount of demeanor out of you and behavior. But I mean, it's all fun racing for the amount of times I've been with the Big Show. I found 10-4 personally on the Big Show, and yeah, talk about exciting. I mean, I like coming out here to the Big Show with 10-4 broadcasting, and I know these races are long, but I enjoy every minute of it. Will.
Oh, yes, sir, indeed. And I know a driver that's enjoying themselves here tonight, and that's Ryan Avila right here in the lead. And folks, it's not because we don't get the other car into the picture. It's because Ryan's really taken off here after those green flag pit stops. And Ryan's just really starting to run his best lap times here in the proceedings. Just ran a 40.2 there on the track, a 40.9 the last time around there. And really a lot faster than second place, almost a second faster in lap times there, Patrick.
Yeah, and he's definitely scooting. Ernie Williams may be having a little trouble up there trying to get going, but man, yeah, I mean even in this blimp view here, from the Goodyear blimp, I mean you can't even hardly see him entering the picture. So I mean that just goes to show you how much of a lead he does have. 2.5 seconds on him, so it's Ernie Williams. He's gonna have to kind of get trucking here and catch up, but I believe we're only about 1 to 2 laps to go here, Will. So yeah, this will be Ernie Williams and Michael Wiley's chance to reset and give this thing the last 20-lap shootout.
Yes, sir. And as Ray Garcia, the admin here at the Big Show, mentioned, this is a new driver here in the Big Show. So what a way to make yourself known of coming out here and winning a 100% race here at Indy. With only 20 laps to go, I don't want to put the commentator's curse on him just yet, and I'm pretty bad about that, Patrick, but there was a driver that I would pick to go ahead and get this race victory here tonight. It would be Ryan Avila in that number 6 machine. Just the race that he's raced so far here tonight, having to battle back through with those green flag pit stops. He's held this cool when he's had competition up there battling for the lead, and just really showing he's got the Emperor's new groove here tonight at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and just really cruising his way to try to pick up this Indy 500 victory here tonight.
Oh yeah, and I wish I could agree with you there, but I would have to say probably Michael Wiley would probably be my pick. I know he's kind of hanging out in the back and he's gotten in some trouble, but if pit stops go well and he can sling back out here and still the top 3, I think he's got one heck of a shot to sling around here. I mean, we even heard him during the stage break, the confidence that he had, that he knows he's going to win. He knows he's got this thing in the bag. So, the not being fearful at all, to ready to take on this race. I think Ryan Avila, Ernie Williams is, they're going to have something to think about this next pit stop here, Will.
Yes, sir, indeed. And with only 20 laps to go here, folks, we're creeping down towards the end of this race, and we'll see if we can't get you one last interview in here for the end of the race. And, we'll see if we can't speak to Michael Wiley once again, as you've seen him climb back up into the mix of these proceedings here, Patrick. And I believe that you've got him on the radio here. And, hey, Michael, this is Patrick and Will up here in the 10-4 broadcast with you. Got a copy?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Oh, man. Hey, you've been having any kind of trouble out there? Yeah, with the confidence you had at that last stage, you going to be working your way back up here toward the front? I see you're in 3rd.
I'm going to give her a shot right here. It don't handle good behind 2 or 3 cars. It handles all right behind 1, but it's hard to pass when you're behind a few people. But hopefully that bad luck's behind me and I can turn this race around right here.
Awesome. Any kind of strategy we can know about?
Fuel's going to be really close, so saving's going to be key right here.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna ask that, Michael. It was kind of interesting to see you guys head down pit road before the end of that stage there. Was that just to make sure that you're good to go the rest of the way, or did you plan on making another pit stop here at the end of the stage?
Yeah, I knew that I was going to be behind these guys, so I was going to try to take fuel and go a little longer and have a better pit strategy than them, but overshot my pit box and messed it up.
Yeah, you coming in as a stage winner here. It's really going to come down to Patrick picked you to win, and I picked Ryan to win, so it's going to be a battle between you two. We're assuming they're at the top. What do you think, as we spoke to Ray just a little while ago, what do you think about Ryan here tonight? I know he's a new driver here in the Big Show. What do you take from the way that he's been able to handle the Indianapolis Motor Speedway here tonight?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I don't know that I've ever raced with Ryan, but this second half of the race, he's took the reins and pretty much held on to it. So it's gonna be his race to lose, that's for sure.
It's gonna be your race to win.
But hey, real quick, I know the pace car lights are out, so you're about to go back on the green. Can you explain what happened on that one? It looked like you and Ryan might have gotten into it at one point, and I think he got up into the wall.
I'm not sure what happened there. The car behind him wrecked, and I was watching the car that wrecked, and then all of a sudden there he was right in front of me. I don't know if he lifted or what, but I got into him. I didn't mean to. It was an accident, but
Okay.
I apologize.
That's all right, man. Hey, the two of y'all are back together. Y'all going to play nice, but hey, it's 20-lap shootout, bud, so it's time to get down to it, so we'll let you at it.
Thank you, guys.
Michael Wiley there, a stage winner. But here we go, folks. The green flag is in the air here. This is the last 20 laps here at the Indy 500. So he's going to take this race victory here. Watching Ryan Navilla head down into one. Michael Wiley right behind him. You got Harold Gothsacker right behind him as well. Jonah Long in fourth, and Matthew Butler, who have seen in contention so far. That's going to be our top five right now, Patrick. As you see a few battles ensuing right behind those leaders. A lot of slicing and dicing going down on the backstretch right now.
Yeah, it's definitely tight. Definitely tight right there. Wow.
Awesome. Matthew Butler up there. Taking a look here. The few of the other drivers in the mix here. Oh, man. Kind of got close to that pit road entry wall there, Patrick.
Yeah, but you see what they're trying to do. He's trying to shake Michael Wiley off there. So yeah, he's trying everything he can. As it looks like some car just got into the wall back there. Let's see if we can take a quick peek of who got bent up.
A few cars back there, Patrick.
Yeah, it looked like Landon might have got caught up in that one too. Might have been him and Ray Garcia got tangled up. Yikes. All right, we're back on the track. Get back up here for the lead. It looked like Wiley might have had a little trouble there.
Yeah, he's starting to lose pace there, and that bears good news to Ryan up there, still leading the way here in the Indy 500.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, with the last here, if the last yeah, there should be a caution out. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what ended up happening is normally cautions don't get thrown for wrecks, but in the last stage, if there's a multi-car pileup, they're going to throw a caution, try to bunch everybody back up, because it's it's a real bummer getting out here and then the last little bit, the last 20 laps, you get smoked out of the race. So yeah, everybody will kind of be able to get repaired and squeeze back together.
And this really bunches things back up here towards the end here, Patrick, and we want to appreciate everybody for tuning in to us here tonight at 10-4 Broadcasting. And we came onto the broadcast a little late, but if you are enjoying what you are seeing from us here at 10-4 Broadcasting, we invite you to go check us out on YouTube at 10-4 Broadcasting on there. Go ahead and like us, subscribe us, hit that little notification bell up in the top. We give you iRacing action about 5 or 6 days out of the week, Patrick. We are pretty action-packed here at 10-4 Broadcasting, as well as on Facebook as well. It's 10-4 Broadcasting on there. Go ahead and give us a like and follow all that good stuff on there, because either way you can watch the race. You can watch it on Facebook, YouTube, or we do have a Twitch page as well that's currently under construction. And Patrick, man, this is what a way to kick off the week. I'm used to calling these modified races that are short and sweet, and we see one guy get out to the top and lead the way for about an hour, and that's the end of things. But tonight, man, this is what a way to kick off my week here at 10-4 Broadcasting. We're seeing a real 100% race here at the Indy 500. Of course, we came on around lap 60, so we got about 150 laps, or 140 laps, if you will, under our belt here in this race, and really seen everything so far here with less than, say, 14 laps to go. We've seen the same names up here now for the last, I'd say, 50 or 60 laps, but as we've seen throughout this race, really anything can happen in these cars. It takes really pinpoint accuracy and pinpoint precision to get around one another, so really anybody's ball game here towards the end.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see how this one goes. They're kind of ticking down here. I think we got less than 15 to go. You were saying, you are sticking to the modified, so you did stick to the open wheel, but now you increased it by 80 miles an hour and another mile and a half added onto the track.
Right, exactly. All
lot.
that talk that I used to do during the modifieds, talking about F1s and Indy cars, I finally got my wish.
Ah, yes. So yeah, you're definitely getting a lot more speed, a lot more room for error. Oh, what just happened? Sorry, these two are bumping and banging here in the back. Somebody just got folded up. Looked like, was that Rutherford? Yeah, it looked like somebody turned him around. Look at that wheel. Little iRacing glitch there. Those sometimes make me laugh, but not when you're racing. Those are pucker moments. I hate when that happens. Man. All right, so I was going to say, we have Ryan Avila, Michael Wiley, Harold in the 69 car, Jonah Long, and Matthew Butler to round out your top 5. So you're about to see them shoot off here in just a second as we're back
Here we
under
go,
green.
Folks, the green flag is about to drop right here. See Ryan with a big jump there on the restart. See him head down into one with the race lead. Right now, Michael Wiley's already got his hands full with Harold right next to him. Jonah Long's in the mix as well up there. Saw Jonah battling for the lead about 30 or 40 laps ago. Got caught up. Now he's back up there in the mix as well. But Ryan's got a big jump there coming out of 2 down the backstretch.
Yeah, Michael Wiley having a little bit of trouble there. I might have called him out there a little bit, but he did say he's having some trouble. Oh, as Ryan got
There goes
turned.
Ryan. Gets spun by Harold there on the entry of 3. Oh my goodness, and I saw Harold with a big run coming up on Ryan. You saw that nose just clip the tail end of that race car, sent Ryan into the inside wall. Ryan's going to be out of contention right now, folks. Wow, what a big mishap there.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know if race control may take a peek at that later on. I'm not sure how that was, but yeah, the tough break. I really hate to see something like that happen. You get up there, you're doing real well. Somebody finally catch up to you, and some people get turned around and blasting people all to pieces. So, yeah, tough break. But yeah, Michael Wiley got his hands full here of Matthew Butler. So, we got some serious stuff going on here.
Maybe we can rev up that replay there to see what happened there as we got less than 12 laps to go. I really want to take a look at seeing what happened to Ryan Avila's race car there. As you saw a big run out of Harold there, and the way this race has been going so far, folks, everybody's been clear and everybody's been keeping their cool. But you saw Harold really just dig the nose in the back of that race car there on the entry of the corner, and Ryan really couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah, no, he couldn't. That was a heartbreaker on that one.
Almost like the Dallas Mavericks getting blown out again here tonight. It's a heartbreaker for me. They're going to go down 3-0 against the Warriors, so it's a heartbreaker for Ryan Avila here in the Indy 500. As you see,
all right,
taking a look here.
We got these two set up here, so let's see if we can.
Watch Harold
wow.
Yeah,
that might have been a dump there, bud.
Just didn't time it correctly, or just didn't. I don't know there, Patrick. That was we've seen clean racing throughout tonight's proceedings, but you hate to see somebody as strong as Ryan's been here tonight get taken out that way with, I believe, only 12 laps to go.
Yeah, but this is what you hate about cameras. Watch that wheel. This is the beauty of being able to see what happens. Man, tough break.
Just was never there. Just hard to explain that one for us up here in the booth, but we'll get you back to the live action here in just a second. And I believe, Patrick, we're going to have less than 10 laps to go here at the end of the Indy 500 here, and it's still Harold leading the way. And Harold just ran a 43.6, and Michael Wiley ran a 43.7, so we'll see. But I believe we might be under caution there, Patrick.
Yes, we are. Yeah, normally you kind of take a peek at it, and if your top 5 drivers kind of get spun out, I mean, last thing you want to happen. But like once again, it seems that new driver out here, he's kind of getting bumped and banged around by some of these other guys out here. So yeah, it may be race control trying to give him another chance, but I believe pace car lights are out. So we're getting ready to wrap this one up here in a little bit here, Will. I think we only got about 10 to go.
And I believe Ryan has retired there, Patrick. I'm not seeing his name on the grid at all. It almost reminds me if I'm playing a game of Madden and I start to get blown out a little bit, or if I lose the lead there on the last second, I'm going to go ahead and shut the game off. Just reminds me of that a little bit there, and I can understand the frustration at Avila there as you see him down in the 14th position. Yeah, he might have retired here in tonight's proceedings, and it's not the best way to see this thing end here. As you see, Harold's up there in the lead, Michael Wiley's in second, Matthew Butler's in third, Jonah Long's in fourth, and Heath Rutherford's in fifth. And there goes my race pick there, Patrick, and I'm going to stop calling for my race winners, that's for sure.
That's all right. But this is always what race protest haulers are for. Because, so I let these guys have some words after the race. So, yeah. I figure if this was, if this was real racing, I think these guys would be out there inside. There would be a helmet getting thrown. So,
for sure, Patrick.
They definitely had a heck of a run there.
Yeah, not the best way to end somebody's day there, if you will. But here we go, folks.
Man, look like Butler might have gone ahead and taken that outside shot there.
You see Harold still in the lead there. You see Matthew Butler up there as well. Michael Wiley's in the third position. Harold's going to lead them down the backstretch here. Matthew Butler's up there. Now, Matthew's been racing up there for the lead throughout tonight's race. You saw him fade back just a little bit. Michael Wiley as well was up there in early proceedings of this race. Got taken out as well. Now they're trying to get around Harold, who's now in the lead. You see if they can try to reel him in there. Matthew's seeming to have a line on Harold. But you do want to see some clean racing there up at the front there, Patrick, as they're going to cross the line here with less than 9 laps to go.
Yeah, it's going to be a close one. My pick is still hanging out there in third, but he may be able to fight up there. But I don't know. The way these two are running, Harold of the 69 car and Matthew in the 4 car, it's going to be close. I think the contention may be the 69 and the 4 here. But yeah, it's. If I think Wiley might have a good shot if these two wreck each other out. I'm not asking for that, but yeah, I hope this is going to be close here, Will, as they reel each other in.
Yeah, and you're starting to see Matthew Butler there just ran his fastest lap time there at 4.1, just a tad bit off the leader there, but also his last lap speed there, Patrick, was only 100th of a second off. That's a tongue twister there to say that. But just a tad bit slower than Harold, but really starting to reel him in there as you see that gap starting to close there on the backstretch. You see heading down into 3 and 4 here. You're starting to see that gap close up just a little bit more as we're closing in on less than 8 laps to go here, folks. So this has been a 100% race. The last time I raced a 100% race had to have been the EA Sports NASCAR Thunder games back in the day. And even those took hours at a time. But you see, folks, we're closing in on the last bit of this race here. And quite a race it has been here, Patrick. An endurance race, if you will. And you see Matthew Butler's trying to reel in Harold here coming down into 3 and 4, and he looks like he's got him there, Patrick, coming around 4. See Matthews trying to get around him there. Right here on the front stretch, he's going to try to make a pass. I believe he may have lost Patrick for just a second there. You see with about 6 laps to go, Matthew has caught Harold there, has the speed, has the line. Now it's just about whether or not to pick your move, to pick your time to get around Harold there as they're heading around the backstretch here in the Indy 500. You see Michael Wiley's kind of out of contention there, just a little bit further back from these leaders. You see if Matthew Butler can make that pass. Just about here. Oh no! Oh no, and you see Harold get loose. Karma came around and got Harold there as he entered into 3 and 4. He got loose on the entry of corner. There goes Matthew Butler. Almost went down pit road. Gosh, had to avoid Harold getting spun there with 5 laps to go. Now Matthew Butler's all by himself up there. He sees this race victory in his sights. He thinks he's got it heading down the backstretch. There's nobody around him right now, but it looks like there may be a caution on the track right now Patrick. I think I saw that yellow light blinking.
Yes, you do. Yeah, the leader kind of got taken out there.
Yeah, but he was all by himself there.
Oh, nobody got into him.
No, you just got a bit sideways there.
Dang.
And you see, looks like the chat agrees with me. It might have been a little bit of karma there sneaking into the race. Almost like they say in basketball, the ball doesn't lie. And in that instance, the track doesn't lie. As you see, Harold got sideways all by himself there on the entry of the corner. And just really opens the door now for Matthew Butler to pull away with this thing. And Michael Wiley, your race pick is now back solidly in the mix here. We're going to have probably less than 4 or 5 laps to go when this thing goes green again.
Yeah, and he's definitely going to have to kind of be ready for the race start. I know everybody's kind of been getting the jump on him early, so he may try to gamble here a little bit and take a different gear when he launches. But I mean, I think, yeah, if I wasn't excited about a 20 lap shootout, you're about to get a 3 or 4 lap shootout here toward the end. So I think here in the big show, it's gonna be pretty packed. So.
Yeah, towards the end of this race here, folks. And again, we want to appreciate everybody for tuning in to us here tonight at 10-4 Broadcasting. I know on Sunday nights, a lot of our fans are used to seeing the modified racing, but again, that race got pushed to, I believe, next week, or it's going to get rescheduled for that New Hampshire race. But we are lucky enough that Ray Garcia was able to contact us. And Patrick, I'm gracious for you to hopping in the booth with us here practically last second. We were able to get in around lap 60, so... Man, it has been an awesome night so far for us up here in the booth, and for these drivers, they have been racing since about 8:30, 9 o'clock, so closing in on about a 4-hour race for these drivers, and what a good feeling it would be for whoever to win this race here tonight after all that racing, all that effort to win 100% Indy 500. Man, that's a lot of bragging rights you're going to walk away with here tonight.
Yeah, and then endurance, man. That's one word I can say for this is endurance. They've been out here for a long, long time. Just being able to stay clean and being where you are at this point. I have a 30-car field, and I believe we're down to about 9 drivers left. I mean, that's just how some of the tumble ups we're getting here. But everybody's still kind of sticking to their guns and staying out here. So I mean, you can even see the ones that are sticking around. I know Ray Garcia was down a few laps, and look at him now. He's hanging out in the 5th position on the lead lap. So I mean, it's still. I think Michael Wiley. I'm hoping he's going to get a good shot here. But yeah, I don't know. Matthew Butler was looking pretty strong there, right there toward the end.
Yeah, as you talked about, it's all going to be about this restart here, folks, because we're going to have about 2 or 3 laps to go here once this pace car peels off, and we'll see. We'll see if Michael Wiley can keep Matthew Butler here in the mix, or as if Matthew's going to pull away with this thing. But things are going to happen so quickly once that green flag drops that, folks, you're going to want to watch. You're going to want to stay tuned here towards the end.
He just spun himself out. No, what just happened?
See, Michael Wiley, like you said, spun himself out there under caution. And
no.
We're going to go green.
No.
We're going to go green right now, Patrick.
No.
Michael Wiley is going to have to zoom up there as quickly as possible as Matthew Butler is going to take this green flag and head down into 1. Jonah Long's not going to be in 2nd place. Michael Wiley's trying to get back up there now up into 3rd. Do you see, folks, we got 2 laps to go here. Matthew Whiteley is going to head down into 3 and 4 or 1 and 2 to head down into that backstretch. You see him peel way down on the track there, try to throw a block on Jonah Long there as they head down into 3 and 4. Matthew Whiteley still your race leader here. Jonah Long's in 2nd, right on that back bumper as they're going around 3 and 4 with 2 laps to go here, folks. This is it. This is time to go. It's time to make those big money moves. Shout out to Cardi B. As you see, Matthew Butler is going to lead him down the front stretch here. Watch out! Oh my goodness gracious. As you see Jonah Long right there. This is the white flag here, folks, in the Indy 500. This is lap 200 of 200. Oh man, Patrick, this thing's getting dicey.
Yep, good move there by Jonah Long. I know he's got a bunch of fans out there in the chat kind of looking for him, kind of rooting him on. And he definitely needs you behind him now, as you see Matthew Butler kind of taking off here by 2/10. So I think if Jonah Long is going to have it, he's got 2 turns to make it happen.
He's closing in right here, Patrick. He's closing in. I can see that gap closing from that cockpit. You see it closing in just a little bit here. Looks like Jonah might have that line heading down to the front stretch. Oh gosh, it's going to be close. And you see Matthew Butler is going to win here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in the Indy 500 here in the big show, Patrick. And man, that came down to a last 20 laps there. And gosh, Matthew Butler comes home with a huge win here in the Indy 500 after a 200-lap endurance race. Held off Jonah Long there just at the end. Michael Wiley spun himself out there under caution, was out of contention. But a huge congratulations there to our race winner. Man, what a race it was for us up here in the booth.
Wow. They kind of total each other out here, Landon. We've seen you blown apart many times, but yeah, that was a nail biter right there at the end. That was a nail biter. That was close. So I mean, yeah, wow. I thought Jonah Long was going to catch him, but just barely missed him. Just barely missed him.
Yeah, and what a finish that was there, Patrick. I'm going to see if we have some people that we can interview about the finish here, man. But, you know, we got about 150 laps of that action here in the big show. And as I mentioned, we came onto the broadcast just a tad bit late there. And, man, what a crazy race. I know these big show formats are a little bit different than what we're used to in the other leagues that we call. And we see a lot of green flag runs there with cars spinning and crashing. And, you know, the yellow comes out when the leaders crash here, but man, we saw a lot of lead changes there. We saw some of the leaders spin out by themselves. We saw leaders get taken out by other cars. One big controversy, though, as you mentioned, Patrick, is gonna be Ryan Avila getting taken out by Harold Gothsacker there, and that was a big shift in the way this race was heading there towards the end.
Yeah, it was a real. I'm at a loss for words. I mean, I don't know if it was maybe a racing move as you see kind of here toward the final laps with, you know, Matthew Butler kind of swinging around back and forth, trying to keep everybody kind of off his back bumper. But I just don't know if there was a miscue or what happened there. But I mean, he was doing great. He had a second chance, and then just kind of that was kind of it. And it was just it's I don't know, man. It's just a heartbreaker. It really is. I mean, you do so well, and after racing here for so long, it just doesn't pan out.
Yeah, and after a 200-lap endurance race in which you're racing up there in the lead pack most of the night, it's just going to be a bummer to have your night end like that. You know, you sacrificed all that time, you put in all that effort here at Indy just to see your night end like that. And, you know, I'm going to see if I can round up some interviews here to close out our session here at 10-4 Broadcasting, but what a blast it was for us up here in the booth, Patrick, and can't wait to hear from some of these drivers to hear about what their thoughts of tonight's action were. And at first glance here, Patrick, I'm going to see if I can't bring in race control of Ray Garcia, the admin here in the big show, just to see what his thoughts are of tonight's event and see if we get another race here heading up next weekend.
Yeah.
Hey, Ray, this is Patrick and Will up here in the 10-4 Broadcasting booth. You got a copy?
Yes, gotcha.
Man, what a crazy race that was. An endurance race, if you will. Me and Patrick were talking about it here. 200 laps of essentially nonstop action for everybody here in the big show. And one thing that me and Patrick were just talking about a second ago was the incident between Harold and Ryan. We saw Harold kind of clip the tail end of Ryan there towards the end of the race, and I think Ryan may have gotten a little frustrated because we saw him retire after that incident. What are your thoughts of tonight's action were, and what do you think about that incident there towards the end?
Well, let's start with the cars first. So one thing we were learning as we were going along is that on these on the fuel reloads, once you had a full load, the car was really tight. With the full fuel load, the cars were not sticking right, so that's why you were seeing a lot of accidents right after the green flag would drop. The cars were just pushing tight with the full load, and right after you burned off about 6 gallons, the car would come in. So it was getting critical just to survive that first 6 laps. If you tried to go too fast, the car just wouldn't stick, you know. And then with the aero loss following, with the incident with Ryan, we were trying to get him to hang in there because we were going to go yellow, but he panicked and he just quit. He got upset with that with him and Harold. Harold and Michael and Matthew Butler were teammates, and Ryan just got a little upset. But we were hoping he had hung in there because we were going to go yellow. We always go yellow in the last 10 laps.
Did seem like a bit of a. I'm trying to think of an adjective to explain it. Did seem like kind of a crazy move, if you will, from Harold. I guess he wasn't clear enough there. Just essentially what we saw on the replay there, just clipped the tail end of Ryan and sent him right into the inside wall.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet myself. I was busy following one of the other guys into the wall when he went into the wall. I went into the wall right after him. I just know where to go, So I have to look at it on replay.
But man, what an action-packed race it was for us up here in the booth watching those. I was just speaking to Patrick there. A lot of lead changes there towards the end, a lot of incidents there, and I liked how you threw the caution out just in case it was a driver up there in the top 5 that got wrecked. And what a crazy race here tonight. I know it was Landon's idea to run these cars here tonight. I know you guys are usually racing the trucks or stock cars, but definitely a change of pace, if you will, running these Indy cars here tonight.
Yeah, we had a plan, and that was we had 30 cars in the beginning, and we just couldn't get them to relax. If we could have got those guys just to relax, through the comp caution stage of the first 100 laps, we'd have had a lot more cars. But everybody just gets too excited to get to the front, and they were just killing each other. So it started whittling down. A couple guys had to leave because it was late where they're at. It was past midnight where they're at. So they had to go. Like Ernie Williams, he only had 3 laps to go, but he had to leave. His wife was yelling at him. That was kind of funny.
You gotta go if the wife says you gotta go. You can't really fight that, that's for sure.
Yeah, we're like, no, you only got 3 laps to go, and he's like, I gotta go. She's like, get off that damn game.
Oh man, Ray.
But yeah, those are the moments you laugh at.
Oh gosh, but we were gonna ask you. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Rick.
Yeah, we were. It was a big learning curve for us. This is the first time we've run this long with these cars, so we had no idea how they would perform over the long term. But we learned a lot with the fuel loads. That made a huge difference. When you take a full load of fuel, the car pushes really, really tight. And so maybe when you first take off, maybe not go so bonsai and let some fuel burn off before you really start getting on it. Next time we know. But it was fun. For a first time, it was fun.
Yeah, we sort of noticed that there too. Some of the drivers, when we spoke to Landon about it, and also Michael Wiley kind of compared it to driving a go-kart. Landon spoke about how the cars will kind of come up from underneath you, and you really got to fight that wheel to control it. We saw it here tonight. We saw a few drivers get kind of wacky by themselves, or you barely make contact with one car. It's almost like on some of the calls that we call for the modified series, where you can't really pass. Like if you're in a stock car, you can't really kind of bump that back bumper. You can't bang up against the other car. You got to really be pinpoint precise with your moves.
Yeah, this track you have to hit your mark on every corner. So that's the thing. If you're off that mark, and it can be more complicated when you're with a heavy fuel load, because that's when some of the guys were stepping out at the back, as they entered the corner with the extra weight. The right side was stepping out on them, and they were either slapping the wall, or we call it turn left for Dale, and you saw some of those guys just hard left.
Right, exactly. And Ray, before we let you go, me and Patrick were talking about the big money races that you put on here in the big show, and talking about the last race that I called for you guys here at the big show. We saw Landon Gentry win over $200, and I think the race that Patrick called, Greg Blazin won that event. Are we going to see a Memorial weekend race here at the end of May?
Yeah, we have one next weekend, another 125 at ISS with the Camping World trucks next weekend.
There we go. Fantastic. I'll let everybody know about that, and I'll go ahead and put that on Facebook as well. We'll be back up in the booth for that action. And Ray, we can't wait to. I believe Jonah Long's in the server. If we could speak to him, I don't think Matthew Butler's in there, but we'll see if we can't speak to our second place finisher to see what his point of view of the race was and that action there towards the end.
Yeah, Jonah ran a good race. He was struggling in practice, and he asked for help, and he figured it out. He was driving a pretty good race. He got caught up in a couple little things there, but he had a good shot to win this race tonight. But Matthew Butler, he drove the wheels off that thing in that last 2 laps.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like we did lose Jonah. It is getting late for even people here on the East Coast.
Yeah, that's the East Coast.
You guys have been racing for a solid, because I think you guys started around 8:30, 9 o'clock.
8:15, yeah.
Yeah, so it's been quite the endurance race for a lot of these drivers, Ray, and you only got 3 drivers left in the service. So maybe we'll end with you. And Patrick, did you have any questions here for Ray before we close out the show for the folks?
Yes, and it was only actually one question. I know you guys run mostly stock cars, and I've called for you guys running the trucks. This from Landon saying is mostly he asked for the Indy cars. Are you looking to kind of promote more IndyCar racing in the big show?
Well, the guys want to consider it. Most of these guys are all NASCAR guys, so banging wheels is one of the.
Yes.
That's the one thing they're not quite used to, not getting so close to each other.
Right.
That was the hard part early, is keeping everybody away from each other. Or when the draft was so fast here, they're running up on the back and tapping people in the back. And in their minds they have to remember these are open wheel cars, so it's a whole different dynamic. But yeah, we may throw a couple of more tracks up in light of it being Indy 500 month. We decided, Landon suggested it. We said, yeah, let's run it. So we did.
All right, awesome, excellent. Yeah, that's all for me. Yeah, Ray.
Yeah, well, next week come back. We're going to be at the ISS Super Speedway, 3-mile oval, high speed, 232 miles an hour with my trucks, and that'll be a really fun race.
Yeah. I fully expect 4 wide on that one.
Oh yeah, on 125 laps, we're looking at about 50 lead changes in that race.
Yeah.
That's how competitive that'll be.
All righty.
Well, Ray, I think we'll go ahead and close the show here tonight. It is now Monday morning for some people, so I believe some of your drivers have already left the server here. I know we usually do driver interviews and everything towards the end, but we were able to catch a few of those guys there during the race. But again, we want to thank you for bringing us on here towards the end. I know it was kind of a last-second thing, but hopefully we did a good job for you. We were able to capture that Indy 500 100% race you guys did here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And I know next week Michael Wiley was trying to put that 48 into victory lane, just like Jimmy Johnson's trying to put that 48 into victory lane there at Indy coming up here in about a week's time. And Ray, once again, like I said, I want to thank you for bringing us on here, and can't wait to see what you guys have in store for next week.
Yeah, we'll look forward to seeing you guys next week. It'll be a lot of fun.
Awesome, Ray. Well, we'll let you go, and we want to appreciate you taking the time with us, and we'll speak to you soon.
All right, and thanks for jumping in there at that late moment notice for us. We appreciate that.
Yep.
Yeah, of course, no problem at all.
Yep, thank you.
All right, good luck, guys.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Have a great night. And Patrick, that was Ray Garcia here in the Big Show, the admin of the Big Show, and one of the last drivers that we could speak with. It seems like everybody's trying to get to bed here at around midnight here in the Big Show. And Patrick, man, for the folks at home who did tune into this event here, they were in for quite a treat. It was high octane from the minute we came on air, from about lap 60 to the conclusion here. We saw everything. We saw lead changes. We saw multi-car accidents. We saw green flag pit stops. I wouldn't expect anything less from the Big Show drivers here.
Yeah, and like they were saying, it was definitely a learning curve between the lighter vehicle, open wheel. There is no bump draft in Indy. There's no way. It's too fragile. There's too much carbon fiber on these, and you just can't do it. So I mean, it's nice to hear them consider Indy. So you may be able to get a different class of drivers, people who are more interested in driving Indy, and definitely help fuel the Big Show. But yeah, I'm excited for this next run at the ISS Raceway. That's going to be something.
Yes, sir. And I believe if you're free, you might be on the call with Tim Hammond, and then at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch me and Mike Maddox in the booth, bringing you action out of the East Coast Modified Tour, Patrick. But that doesn't end the action here for us here at 10-4 Broadcasting. You can catch me and Mike Maddox in the booth on Tuesday night, bringing the action out of the Virtual Racing League. That is an open modified series that runs at around 8 p.m. Eastern, or 8 p.m. or 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Actually, it's me and Tim Hammond up in the booth for that. Mike Maddox is a race admin in that league. And of course, you can catch me and Patrick back in the booth on Thursday night, bringing you action out of the International Racing League. That race action, I believe, starts at around 9 p.m. Eastern, if I'm not mistaken there, Patrick.
Yes.
Yep. And then on Friday night, it is race number 4 of the playoffs in the High Octane Sim Series, with only 2 races to go. That series is about to conclude their season there, Patrick, and it's really anybody's championship there. I believe you called the Roval race there on Friday night. We saw Matthew Badby break a new record for us here at 10-4 Broadcasting, winning by 30 seconds there at the road course. So really trying to make himself not only the regular season champion, but the playoff series champion as well. And of course, you can catch Patrick Morrison back up in the booth on Saturday night in the Powerhouse Racing League. And then, like as Patrick mentioned, we'll be back up here in the booth bringing you action out of the big show to start things off that afternoon. And then again, out of the East Coast Modified Tour on Sunday night as well. But again, we want to appreciate everybody for tuning in to us here at 10-4 Broadcasting, showing your support here for the big show drivers, and a big congratulations to our race winner here of Butler, Jonah Long, for coming in second, and Heath Rutherford coming around in P3, Long in 4th, and then Ray Garcia was our 5th place finish there, Patrick. And again, we do want to shout out Villa for his efforts here tonight. It was a shame that he got taken out there, but again, folks, we want to